Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an Esper Reacts, where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Sebastian Morgan, titled Victory Finale, featuring Beatriz Villar. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on YouTube. Apparently it was inspired by Nissan Dorma, producer Will Carmack, videographer and graphic. There are a lot of people involved in this, so I'm looking forward to checking it out, and we're going to listen through it in a moment and hear what we think. Let's go. That vibrato is stunning. I mean, is it... Oh, okay. I mean, it is objectively a beautiful song. Oh, that was done. That was so quick. I mean, that flew by. It was just 1 minute 31, but you got so much to appreciate within that short space of time, and we're going to talk about it more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion, my review of this track from an act named Sebastian Morgan, titled Victory Finale, featuring Beatriz Villar. Now, what do I think this track is about? I think it is about a celebration of the glory of God, of Jesus Christ, and having faith in them and letting it be. And it's a beautiful tribute. I mean, from this moment in time where joy will go on, I believe that means so much to so many people. And when you're looking for hope, there are songs like this and messages like that can support you in that. So I think that's fantastic. Objectively, it's just a really feel good track, and it's sung, because this is one of the things I really appreciate about this track, sung phenomenally by Beatriz. They're an incredible singer. I love them in their range, the wonderful operatic vocals there, especially that very high note at the end, of effortless vibrato, the way we really use our full body and phenomenal technique to really feel these notes and words that we are singing, express them in a way which is incredibly impactful, and just ultimately just slamming it. Like, this sounds commercial grade. It's very, very good. And I don't think there's a single thing. That's basically a flawless vocal performance on my part. They had their own sort of way of approaching it, and you could tell it was them. But also just technically, in regards to hitting those notes, just the intensity of it and how it matches the music is thoroughly appropriate and well handled. And I mean, like, the second thing I want to chat about is the actual orchestration, the way it was composed. I mean, the variety of different, the string sections, the flutes, the woodwinds, the brass there. I mean, like, there's these wonderful cascading elements there. Now, not all the time. There is changes in the dynamic range of the piece. We almost have a sort of a choir-esque kind of thing going on with quieter strings at the start there. And we have movement in that lower end there, kind of hinting that we're going to move up. But we kind of don't want to give it away straight away. We're allowing, again, Beatriz to be in the center there, to rise up with a total sort of like fervor of the piece. And I like how different instruments sort of illustrate that main that kind of main melody across the track in order to be able to keep it sounding fresh and engaging. It's just a celebration of that musical concept. Even though the song is, what we listened to was like 1.5 minutes, it just flew by because of the attention to detail in that regard. There were even some sort of orchestral drums or some percussive elements near the end with the victory part there that I appreciated. So I don't think this is the kind of music that can necessarily be done with another type of arrangement. It might just sound a little bit too kind of forced here. You really need the magic of all these different instrumentalists and instruments coming together for an analog acoustic performance in a way that sounds very grounded, but that lifts itself up in time with Beatriz and it makes it all the more sort of authentic and original for the genre. And the final thing I'll mention before I move on is just I appreciated that little bit in the middle between the verses or between the stanzas where we just allowed the strings to sort of have their own time in the sun in between goes of it. It's almost like that sort of phase shift from first to second gear and then the final high note there. It was just a great sort of movement throughout. Well, great use of time with no filler. But then you combine that with the actual production quality where I think just from a studio recording perspective, it sounds incredibly tight. I appreciate the quality of the vocal performance, not just because of how it was actually done, but because of how it actually sounds there. It sounds like everyone was recorded in this big old opera hall and you can hear all the instruments individually and it's just a sea of sound there with Beatriz in the middle. And there's a real sense of glory to the tone, the glow, the warmth, how bright things are, the EQing and filtering being adhered to, the actual clarity of the components within it, being able to discern and disseminate, the dynamic range to it not being all the same loudness all the time. These sort of things that can sometimes be confused in like even an intermediate level recordings for it to be entry level, kind of like this is commercial grade. I appreciate the polish to this, but it's just the fact that there is a sense of life to it. It just sounds like everyone is there to invoke that sense of joy, and they nail it. And it's nice and loud without being overwhelming, as it should be. It's just what I would expect from a song of this genre, but from professional musicians. And the fact that it's sung so beautifully is the icing on the cake. Ultimately, I don't think there's anything I'd necessarily fault about this piece. It's clearly a well-intentioned track that has all the boxes ticked and is solid across the board. I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to listen through it. Thank you for watching my review of this track from my next name, Sebastian Morgan. This track titled Victory Finale featuring Beatriz Villar, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via their various social medias and their YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next SB Reacts. Spiderhands out.